Hello everyone, good afternoon to all. So today is the first session for Anthropology Enrichment Cum Test Series 2026 and this is going to be basically orientation session. So okay, so come fast, we are going to start. So in this session we are just trying to understand how we need to create approach when we are going to appear for mains. As I had earlier told you, this batch is basically for those who dedicatedly wanted to prepare for the mains. Even if you are giving mains in the year 2026 and even if you are not giving mains, but still you need to prepare as you are about to appear in the 2026 mains. That's how you can ensure your anthropology. In this batch, we basically going to cover 4 components. The first component, the live enrichment session. Second is going to be 300 plus practice questions with model answer. This will help you to basically demonstrate or replicate the same approach that you are going to learn here. And the third, test series, so that we can evaluate you are doing in the right direction or not. And the last one is one-to-one mentorship. This is going to be personalized mentorship program. That's why seats are very limited. Okay, now let's start with the same. Okay, so the first thing that you need to understand that whenever we are having mains oriented preparation, we need to be very much typical as well as we need to be very much targeted. So there is a slight difference that you can see between these two answer copies. Just notice it and tell me. Okay, tell me the difference if you can notice here. See, when you will notice two copies, see, I'm not saying which one is better, as I had earlier told you, and keep this thing in your mind. UPSC, they are not going to expect that you will write very good answer. Why? Because there is no such prescribed guidelines and there is no such guidelines which are telling you that these and things should be included in your answer. UPSC basically saying that you just need to write down less bad answers. Means according to them, each and every answer is bad. You just need to write less bad answer. Where you need to be basically think upon of logical ordering of the points. Now, although the questions are different, I just wanted you to just observe that the pattern of both the answers, it's different. See, in this question, if you will see, it seems to be very average answer. So what used to be there, the difference between average answer and a better answer? You will see the person had given the introduction. As we know very well, answer should include introduction, body and then conclusion. Here you can see the body part, introduction part. Here you can see the body part. Body should include headings, subheadings. Every single person, they know this thing, and every single person who's going to appear for mains, they know this thing that you need to write introduction, then headings, subheadings, and your answer should include the bullet points. The same is being done here. Now the same thing is being done differently here. Let me tell you, this copy is of rank 492 2025 and Vaishnavi, and she basically being trained to write answer in this way. This is the question. I'm not going to read the question and I'm not going to add on. I'm just telling you what should be the presentation. Kindly don't think I'm saying that your writing should be like that, but try to understand what a kind of a difference between average answer and a better answer is this. Average answer, they seems to be properly including the introduction, body, conclusion. Let us suppose if you are writing in the same way, maybe you would get stuck between 200, 210, 220. This is the thing that each and every person is doing, and average they are getting the same mark. If you are targeting to appear for the mains, do first thing after this session, read one unit, write answer, and then compare. And that should be completely completely without any pre-preparation, pre-thought. I mean, you will read first the unit and then you will try the answer. You won't see the question before reading. Okay. Now, if you will write and then compare, your answer seems to be generic, will stuck between 200 to 220, or your answer is something that would help you to get between 250 to 300. Here I am not talking about 300 plus. Why? Because for that we require more things. Here the answer which will be providing you average. So average in anthropology is around 260 to 270. I hope all of you know about it. Okay, fine. So now when you are talking about the better answer, so better answer, they basically including some differentiation in terms of body and introduction. If the same is replicated in the introduction and body, means normally you are repeating the sentences, you are giving some information. So answers, they should not look like you are vomiting the facts. Answers should look like balanced. Means they should look like something which is being trained and which is being replicated in the same way. Like for example, here the question is on culture ecology, and here you can see this diagram, and the diagram is self-explanatory, means you don't need to explain the diagram again. Here also you can see the clear difference. When you are writing the headings and subheading, the bullet points, they seems to be very much sufficient. I'm not here talking about the content. I'm just here talking about the presentation. Means the answer should include the proper conclusion. The answer should include the proper diagrammatic representation. So what you can just see in terms of a difference. You can see in terms of a difference that whenever we are talking about answer writing, so the answer writing, it should avoid the common mistakes. The very first day when you are having a dream to prepare for UPSC Mains 2026, then today itself you need to avoid these common mistakes while writing the answers. First mistake, lack of diagrams. Diagrams, they are the spirit. They are the one which will be making it different from the other one. Now, there was a kind of, you can see a storm or a wind. In the 2019, there was one UPSC topper, I think all of you are aware, Akshat Jain sir. So Akshat Jain sir, he basically provided a kind of new approach for writing the answer. He said that anthropology answers, they should include diagrams. And when he was talking about diagram, he mentioned some basic diagrams, like where you are using the hub and spoke. I hope you all are aware of this method. Like you are mentioning something like this, and I mean mentioning the core heading here and subpoints here. Either he was also talking about some linear diagrams, like you are mentioning something like that, and writing the points in this format. Okay, so there was this wind in the year 2019. The person, like he also circulated one book, Anthropology Demystified. That book was very, very good. But after 2019, each and every person, they started adopting the same. And every single thing, at one point of time, they used to be best. But after some times, when they are being repeatedly used, they get outdated. And now, in like from the last year paper or from the 2024 paper, we can easily understand that UPSC, they also want you to just change your approach. It means now, by the name of the diagram, if you are just mentioning the hub and spoke or just mentioning this linear diagram, you are not doing sufficient thing. Now we need to just slightly change the approach as per the UPSC demand. In the year 2024, I will show you the paper 2024 and 2025. You need to understand, you need to just add on the diagrams which are self-explanatory. So here, if your exam, if your answer looks like having the lack of diagrams, it means you will be stuck between 200 or 220 or even less than that. So diagrams, they are very necessary. Now, diagrams should be handy. Means before doing the answer writing, you should be very much aware of the topics, and with the help of the topic you should also be aware of that these are the diagrams I can show, I can mention. So the one learning that you can understand from here is you should have self explanatory diagrams, and these should be prepared beforehand. See, it seems to be, see, being for in terms of when you are joining the batch, this is the most important thing you need to understand. I will be providing you self-explanatory diagrams in terms of a PDF for complete syllabus in 5 parts: socio-culture, Indian anthro, physical anthro, archaeological anthro. You need to do the practice. When you will be practicing them again and again, you would be in a situation that now, like, you are mentioning them, you don't need to be stressed like should I use any diagram. Like so many students, they used to ask me, ma'am, how to raise our limit, or like how to raise the time limit, like they are not able to complete the paper on time. They are asking the like repetitive questions, like how to get improve their score. See, these are the small things you need to understand. And for the very first thing, these are in terms of a Brahmastra, I am telling you that self-explanatory diagrams should be handy. They should be beforehand prepared, and they should be practiced so much that without any effort, you are just creating them. These all are a part of your answer. Okay, so this is the first thing. Now, second thing, which is very important, poor case studies. In the static part, we are having so many case studies, but now UPSC, they don't want you to mention them again and again. Like for example, now UPSC is also asking some new topics also, like you must be aware of, I will show you the paper, culture embodiment, culture lag. Earlier, see, these are read between the line type of question. I would say bouncer question for sure, because maybe they are related to the current affair, not directly but indirectly. So for all these type of thing, we need to have new case studies. New case studies means related to the world, in the world, in terms of the culture or in terms of the otherwise. What are the kind of different things they are basically using? Like for example, when you are giving the example of unit 5 religion in the socio-culture anthropology, you are talking about the animatism, anima, or you are talking about the totemism. So you are not supposed to give the same case studies again and again, that the tribal people, they are using it, these and that. No. For example, I will be providing you more and more case studies, and these case studies, they are different as well as like extensively. I had used so many sources, and through that I extracted so many case studies. Like for example, for animatism, I am going to give you the case study of a wood pipe. Now you would say, ma'am, the examiner, they would know these type of rare case studies. See, these are not rare case studies, these are hidden case studies. So I will be giving you a repository of the hidden case studies, and that you will get on 3rd June. So 3rd June going to be first session for socioculture anthropology. Before that, I will share a PDF. I will share a PDF which will include the case studies, and I will be providing it like topic by topic. Now, next thing, paper 2. Paper 2, it was basically application based. So you should be aware of mentioning in the same way as well. Application means what? Most of the topic, if you will ask there, like different religion, how they are being impacted, like the agriculture, land reforms, like the globalization, like tribal regionalism, communalism. So these topics, they are having overlapping with your GS paper 1 society, but they should be prepared from anthropological perspective. Means first you are mentioning the name of anthropologist, you are mentioning about their book name, you are mentioning about them, and then you are relating it with the current affair. So that would be the better approach. So for that, I am going to provide you the current affair. and this is also you will get in terms of a PDF. That too topic wise, unit wise, so that it would be easier for you to integrate in your notes, as well as it will help you to retain the same. Next, the other common mistake is no answer writing discipline. Answer writing discipline, it is the most important one. Why answer writing is very much important? See, you need to understand. Answer writing discipline, as I had earlier told you, if you are just writing answer for the sake of writing it, you won't be improved. Like you won't be improving. The first step for improvement is daily practice. As you must have learned now, the practice makes man perfect. In the same way, if you are practicing it, you are practicing it to the extent that it is inbuilt in you. Now you are just reading the question, you are just writing it. So that's why answer writing discipline is the most important one. You should not avoid it from the day one. First, like today itself, I had told you what you just need to do. You just read one unit and try writing it. And after writing it, just fill the form, Google form attached here. I will be connecting with you and I will be giving feedback on your answer. And with the help of that, you will understand what are the common mistake parts that you can find in your answers and you can improve later on. Fine, so do not hesitate. After the session, read one unit and then write answer. I will definitely help you to improve. Okay, now next part, generic answer. If your answer including these things, not having the diagrams, having the poor case studies, having a weak paper 2 application, and you are not practicing answer writing on daily basis, your answer would look like generic. And because it would look like generic, it will get you the generic marks also. Like for example, if you will ask me, in this particular answer, you will get around like 4 out of 10. But for this type of answer, you will get around 6 or 7. Now, having 6 or 7, like each one mark in the UPSC, it matters a lot. So that's how you can understand answer writing. It is the most important one. And when you are writing answers, this should be something which is basically dedicating you. Okay, fine. So Samiksha is asking, ma'am, where you are going to provide these PDF? Are we having in a private Telegram channel? Okay, so you will be getting the access to the portal, Samiksha, and with the help of the portal, you will get all the PDF. So don't worry for the same. Okay, fine. So with the help of the portal, you will get. I'm saying for other students also, like if you want to understand what are the mistakes in your answer writing, this is the first exercise you need to do today itself. You just need to read one unit, that's of your own choice, write answer and then share it with me. Fine? Okay. So this is something that you have understood, like in terms of answer, how you need to improve. Means you need to focus upon avoiding these types of mistake. You will avoid it if you are having the content in your hand. And for ensuring the content, I am here, I am going to provide you. Now, we had understood that these are the mistakes. Now we need to work upon that what makes a 300 plus anthropology score. I mean, how you can focus for the very first day. Okay. See, last year also I mentored so many students who were preparing for the mains, and I had delivered so many ranks also. You can check the testimonials also that's available in the Sunya IAS Anthropology. So from all these interaction, what I basically noticed is, if you are started writing answers, you should be very much prepared for the same. Why? Because see, this is my personal experience also. If once you started writing without preparation, I mean you started practicing without preparation and without directed guidelines or directed, like someone haven't told you like this is how you need to do, then your answers will be revolving around that generic one only. So therefore, In the first session itself, I'm telling you the most important thing among everything is you are writing good answers. Even if you are having so many better notes, even if you are having so many contents, even if you are having a very good handwriting, even if you are very well prepared, what matters is your answers. Even if you are well prepared, like this is what happened, and that is very unfortunate also. One girl, she was very well prepared for the mains, but the end time cures, some wrong choices of the questions, and she was basically out of the mains. So UPSC, they are not giving minute scope, इतना भी scope नहीं है, mistake का scope ही नहीं देंगे आपको. So that's what you need to understand. You should not, like, what matters is your answers. And quite possible I'm going to be very harsh, very critique while providing the feedback, but this is what you need to learn. UPSC is the main critique, or you can see the main culprit in your story. So that's how prepare for the same. Now, what makes a 300 plus anthropology score? There are 5 pillars, and you, on the very first day, you start working on these 5 pillars. Doing one, then just check it. Second, third, fourth, fifth. This is the kind of a promise you need to provide me. Okay, so now let's first understand the 5 pillar policy. And for anthropology, we are going to focus upon these only. See, for each and every student, I am going to prepare a separate sheet also. In that particular sheet, we are going to analyze you over these 5 pillars, so that we are not going to leave a single point. Okay, so we are not going to leave a single point. So the first pillar, when you are aspiring to focus on the 300 plus, the first point is the conceptual clarity. I mean, when you are trying to write answers, what if you are not having conceptual clarity? What if you don't know that what is the difference between acculturation and enculturation? What if you don't know about the differences between the social groups and the household? I mean, you don't know what is the difference between the family, household, domestic group. Like, what if you don't know what are the different genetic marker and how they used to work? So the first pillar, you should have a conceptual clarity. For conceptual clarity, what we are basically going to do, we are like on the 3rd June, on the first session of social culture anthropology, I am going to provide you the enriched content. So in that enriched content, I am going to mention the topics. Now what you are going to do is, you will pinpoint the topic where you are not having conceptual clarities. You are going to tell me through the portal, and I am going to explain it separately for you. That's why I am saying that it is a one-to-one mentorship program. So the first pillar where we will work, that is the conceptual clarity. So unit wise, topic wise, we are going to prepare sheet and we are going to mark each and every topic. Now, how we are going to do that? Let me provide you the proper demonstration. For each and every unit, I am going to provide these indexes to you. Now, what you need to do, you need to revise complete anthropology. Like first, what I am going to do is, on the 3rd June, we are having the session for social culture anthropology. So on the social culture anthropology, 3rd, like we are having the same, I will be providing you these indexes topic wise, unit wise. I will be providing you for unit 1.1, unit 1.2, 1.3, like complete social culture anthropology. What you need to do, you need to revise through it. You are going to use your own source. You will be using the enriched PDF also, extra material that I am going to provide, and you will revise the complete. Now let us assume you don't know something over this point. Like for example, you don't know about the different views on the origin of anthropology and you are not aware of it. So what you will do, in your sheet you will be mentioning this. Like, ma'am, I don't know this. So what I'm going to do is, I will be explaining it separately to you. So what you will do, you will strong your first pillar, the conceptual clarity. And this part is very much important if you are start writing answer. Why? Because see, try to understand. Last year also I said the same thing. Now UPSC, they had changed their way of asking the questions. I will show you question paper also. There you will understand. Simply knowing something not sufficient. You need to turn that knowledge into the same demand as UPSC is asking. So that's what you need to understand. You should have a complete command so that you can turn the content as per the demand. Fine. So for each and every part I'm going to provide, these are handwritten, prepared by me, and in this part I'm going to comprehensively include so many topics. You like, this is here I provided the demonstration of unit 1.1 only, simply, where I'm dividing the part as per the UPSC. In the unit 1.1, the syllabus is given meaning, scope and development. So that's how we are going to do. Now you will be revising it. And if you are lacking at any topic, you are going to prepare, you are going to mention the same in your sheet. So that's how we are going to maintain the sheet. I hope you can understand it. Fine? Okay. See, this time I'm going to be very strict. I'm saying, so you should not have any lethargy or something. If I'm saying read it today itself, this is the kind of time limit also. I'm going to provide time limit also. Even if you have to leave your sleep, I mean you need to change your sleep pattern, you have to. See, mains is not something, see, if you are clearing prelims, you are giving mains, then for you most important thing should be to prepare for the mains. Even eating, even sleeping, these two things, they are also secondary, and I'm not going to include any third thing other than this. Just studying for the mains is the most important one. Now let us suppose you are not, unfortunately you are not clearing mains, clearing prelims. Still you need to prepare for the mains, and you should prepare for the mains with the same zeal, with the same dedication. Why? Because next time, if you are not planning to have a 5-year, we are having a Panchvarshya Yojana. So if you are not having that Panchvarshya Yojana, then do it now also in the way that do it completely as you are giving mains. And if you will be preparing the same way, you would be free by September with the complete mains part. October, November, December, you can just do the again practice, and you can just focus upon the prelim part from January onward. So you should have preparation of that level. I mean, why I'm saying so? Because there are so many students, they are just roaming here and there, they are just wasting their time in the queues. I mean, they don't know what to do. See, this is what I am saying again and again. Even if you are not giving mains, prepare it like that. Okay, fine. So this is what we are going to do. It would help us just to focus upon the first part, that is conceptual clarity, the first pillar. Okay. Now, talking about the next part. For the next part, this is what I had told you. This is how we will be doing the same. Okay. So it would help you first understand, second memorize. Okay, this is how we will be focusing upon the conceptual clarity part. Now, second one, the most important one. Once we are having the complete conceptual clarity, we need to start with the answer writing. So again, as I had told you, do not write answer even if your content is not prepared. Why? Because answer writing is like a habit. If you will have this level, you will write answer near to this level only. If you are having this level, you will write answer near to this. So kindly upgrade your level, and your level would be upgraded only if you are done with the first pillar. So let us suppose you are constructing a bridge. So for bridge construction now, you need to create pillar one by one. I mean, first you will create this pillar, then this, then this, then this, and over it you will create the bridge. Like that, na? So in the same way, first part, conceptual clarity. Now second part is the answer writing. Second part is basically the answer writing, and you will be doing answer writing only you are done with the first pillar. Okay, so there is no such scope for the delay, no such scope for the lethargy. Fine. Now in the answer writing, what we are going to do, see, for the answer writing, we first going to work on the static part only. It's going to be step by step. As I told you, we'll be providing you 300 plus 300 plus practice question with model answer. So with the help of those practice questions, again I'm saying these practice questions, they going to be simple. They only would help you for this part, for this answer writing part. They won't help you for the enrichment part. They won't help you for the test series. Again, there is a reason behind it. So these 300 plus question, they are going to be simple question. They are going to be part of just revision. I mean, basically, you must have heard na question bank. So question bank and test series, they both are different. Question bank is out of the syllabus. I mean, you are reading something and you are having some question to prepare for the same. So again, for the answer writing, we are going to provide you 300 plus questions and answers. Okay, and these question and answer, they are only for practice. You just need to practice them. They would help you just to have the habit of answer writing. Okay, and they will also help you to memorize the things. Here you memorized. Sometimes it happens na, there is a habit of familiarities. I mean, when you will open something, it seems to be familiar to you. You feel like you remember. But when you will close it and you are trying to memorize it, you are not able to write. And see, again I'm saying, when you are saying, ma'am, it's taking me too much time to write the answer, ma'am, I cannot complete the full paper in the 3 hours, ma'am, it is too difficult, I'm taking half an hour to write one answer. There are these all are the doubts of the students only. So for that, what we are going to do is, practically we will have this answer writing. So 300 plus question and answer, we will be practicing with the same. So it will help you for the practice. Now, next part that would help you for 300 plus, and this next part is basically going to be enrichment. See, this enrichment part is something I would say I'm going to work here, not you. So here you will get PDF only, and like I will be taking classes also, because it's difficult to read from the PDF, I can understand. Here I will be taking classes, and with the help of the classes itself, I will ensure that you will remember the things that I am mentioning in the class itself. Okay, because it's going to be bulky for you also to read it again. So we are going to do it in the class itself. Okay, so that is basically enrichment. Now, when I'm talking about enrichment, again I'm saying, note enrichment in your copies, not enrichment in your mind, enrichment in your answers. Again, there sometimes it happen that there is so many things in my mind, but I'm not able to write. So with the third pillar, enrichment pillar, what we are going to do is, we are basically relying upon the PDFs. And with the help of the PDF, we are going to enrich our content, which will include the case studies, which will include the current examples, which will include the diagrams. All those students who were connected with me, they all know diagrams and the way we need to add on the diagrams in the answers. Okay. Now, once you are done with the enrichment also, next part that you need to focus upon is revision. Once we are done with the conceptual clarity, we know how to write answer, we enriched our answer also, then we need to do the revision. And this is basically multiple revision before the exam. So now you would say, ma'am, why you are not including revision here? See, I include basically here the memorization. Here I am going to tell you the revision of these three things. And this revision of these three things, it should be reflected in your test series. Yes. So the conceptual clarity, the answer writing, the enrichment, the revision, and at last the test. Test which would include the regular evaluation. That basically include the regular evaluation. Now this regular evaluation means what? It means it would, like, we are going to prepare again. I told you the sheet. So one sheet is basically for the conceptual clarity. Another sheet is about the feedback, the evaluation. I mean, for example, you get some evaluation in the first test. So we are going to discuss your first test, and from your test we are going to analyze your strong as well as weak points. We are going to analyze the strong and weak point, and test by test we are going to point that yes, you did it better, you are lagging behind again. So we are going to focus upon this, and that's how we will do every single possible thing from our side to make your journey easier and to help you to get 300 plus anthropology score. So this is how we are going to do. Okay, now for that let's do one exercise, one simple exercise. Okay, so that's how it would help you, that how much you know and how much you need to basically improve. Here I'm writing one question, I'm giving you 2-minute time also. You just explore, just prepare the blueprint, write what are the point you know about it. Okay, so the question is, I'm going very simple open-ended question. Okay, basically it's a PYQ, it's a 10 marker question. I'm not asking you to write, just tell me the blueprint. I'm giving you 2-minute time, just tell me the blueprint for the same. The time starts now, just tell me the blueprint. Okay, so Samiksha, you basically mentioned that William Ogburn, who and that we can go that what he told about this concept, we can explain it in detail with giving any example. Okay, this is something that you told about, like what you have understood from this question. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to create strategies that how should we approach any question or similar questions. Now try to understand, if there is open ended question, and open ended question, they usually used to be bouncer questions. Bouncers, like sometimes UPSC they are giving bouncer questions also. So let us suppose this, like here I'm going to provide you the practical demonstration. If there is any question which includes and in between, so in these types of question what we need to do, there are two choices available. Either write versus or write belongs to. Okay, that's math science. Math science. Versus, there are some types of question where we need to write versus wala relationship. There are some types of question where we need to write belongs wala relationship. Okay. When you are reading this question, Hanji, thank you so much, Uma. Even if you wanted to connect me, you can just fill the form. Okay. I will be here only one call away. Okay. Now, for example, the question is material culture and non-material culture. For example, the question is culture and civilization. For example, the question is like this, William Ogburn and cultural leg. So you need to understand how to approach. When the question seems to be belongs to, then we need to approach differently. And when the question seems to be versus, we need to write it differently. First, I am demonstrating you this type of question using and where one belongs to the other. Culture leg. They want us to explain the culture leg with respect to the William Ogburn. Now, they are basically a simple approach. All of you are aware of the same. Introduction. Then there is body. And then there is conclusion. Okay. Now, in the introduction part, there are different ways. First way, simply start about the meaning of the term. Second way, mention about the anthropologist. Third way, mentioning about any current example or something. First, I am going to teach you. See, I want you to prepare notes of this, because this way I am not going to provide you, like I will be sharing this annotated PDF in the anthropology telegram channel of Sunya IAS. I will be sharing the same, but for this part I want you to prepare it on a A4 size paper. Okay. Now, first thing, introduction. For introduction, there are basically 4 basic approach, and this will apply on all the subjects, but for anthropology it is slightly different. First, let's understand the same. And you are supposed to apply the same whenever you are writing the introduction. First approach, very simple, very straightforward. Mention about the meaning. Second approach, just mention about the origin of that particular term. Like for example, here they are asking Ogburn and cultural leg. So mention when he, like just write down when he used the culture leg, and that is in the first sentence. So here we can mention about the origin. In some questions, this approach will work better. In some questions, this won't. Next is anthropologist name. name and their reference. And the last one is examples and a quote or something. I mean, here you can have the current affairs integrations. Okay. See, assume this question itself. In this question, what would be much better for me? To explain what is culture lag. I mean, when I am not able to keep the balance or the pace with the same culture, my culture is outdated or something. Should I do the same? Haji, tell me. Just tell me which approach is going to be better for this. Meaning, origin, anthropologist name and reference, or example. What we are going is, we are naming this 1, 2, 3 and 4. For this type of question, for introduction, 3 and done. So the third type of introduction that we are doing, this is what we need to prepare. And that's how you need to do. You need to be very much quick. Like you just read the question and like again and again that is clicking in your mind that I need to use this one introduction for the same. Okay. Now what you will be doing, you are going to mention about the William Ogburn. Why this third type of introduction would be better for this question? Because this question also included his name. Now let us assume this question was not talking about William Ogburn, or this question is talking about culture embodiment and cultural lag. Then yes, tell me, if the question is culture embodiment and cultural lag, then what would you use? Anji, tell me. Okay, so let us suppose this question was not talking about the William Ogburn and cultural lag, then what would be much better for me? To explain the meaning in the introduction. To explain the meaning in the introduction about simply the culture. Samiksha, fourth one won't be better because then embodiment or cultural lag. I mean, first we need to differentiate. I mean, no one would be, plus 1, 2. Yeah, 1 would be much better because we are not aware of these terms. Now, for each and every question, you need to practice it again and again. And that's how you would be quick with your answers. See, in the UPSC Mains, now, the game is if you are able to write, if you are able to complete the paper. Many of the aspirants, they are struggling with the same, like many of the mains, those students who wrote mains last year, many, they were saying that ma'am not able to complete paper on time. So like later on, now also when they are coming for the for this batch, they are saying that we are not able to complete the paper on time. So to be very quick, what you need to do, you are not wasting time of thinking that isme likhun kya. So you need to be quick, and then you are just selecting it and writing it. Because the problem, the issue is not because you don't remember the thing. You are at such a stage, you would be able. And one more thing, with this batch itself, I will be ensuring 5 to 6 revision. So 5 to 6 revision, and that is intensive revision for the complete syllabus. Okay, fine. So you would be starting with the introduction, you know. Third type of introduction we are using. For introduction, we are using the third thing. Okay, now in this question, they are actually mentioning William Ogburn in the question itself. So therefore, I am supposed to mention his personal things also. Personal thing means about him. If the question was only cultural leg, then I would mention his name, but I will give focus on the cultural leg itself, like what he said about it. But in this introduction, I will mention his details also. This is what very much important. And if you are writing and understanding in this way, it would be much better for you to get marks. So what I am supposed to do in the introduction? First, I would be mentioning about his personal detail. I will mention that he was basically an American sociologist. Like I will mention that William Ogburn was an American sociologist through his book Social Change with Respect to Culture and Original Nature in the year 1922. Not very much important, you can avoid also. Propose the cultural leg. This is what you are supposed to mention. You can also mention that he was the person who associated with technological determinism. That's how your answer would look like balanced. And intro should not be more than 3 to 4 lines. Should not be more than 3 to 4 lines. And your sentences, they should be short. I mean, it should not be like that you are starting one word and इतना लिखते गए कि last में 5 to 6 line और sentence खत्म ही नहीं हुआ है. You should not doing this. Okay. So here in the introduction, we need to mention about basic detail that he was an American sociologist. I mean, you are not writing कहीं कहीं की कहानियाँ. You are just stick to the point. And UPSC examiner, they like it. I mean, they don't want you to waste their time. They want you to be very much quick. And you are writing to the point. That's why they are giving so lengthy questions. Even this year prelims, it was extremely lengthy. And like if you basically like, I know you basically appeared for the same, but you are aware of this. And mains, it is bit more lengthy. So prepare that mindset. Okay, so first you will mention he was an American sociologist. Next thing you will mention about his book Social Change. Next you will mention that he proposed this. Okay, the book should be closed within inverted commas. Then you will be mentioning about that William Ogburn, he basically proposed this cultural leg. And you will also mention that he was related to the technological determinism. You are related to the technological determinism. This is what you basically know. Now, once you are done with the introduction, you basically related the culture leg with the William Ogburn. And this is what I told you, that in the belongs to wala question where we have to mention the relation, this should be the approach. Now, next part, let's focus upon the body part. So, what body should include? First, in the body, directly you don't need to jump. Again, I'm telling you that after introduction, do not jump over the diagrams, but mention something. I mean, there should be a difference between the introduction and body. Now in the body part, mention simply the simplest meaning of cultural leg. Do not use the heading meaning of cultural leg. Just write down cultural leg and then write it down simply. Now, once you are done with the same, then mention how Ogburn, he basically divided the culture. And for that, we are going to take the help of what? We are going to take the help of the diagram. For the diagram, what we are going to do is, we are going to write William Ogburn. He was basically a technological determinism, like he was having an approach of technological determinism. And with the help of this approach, he basically divided the culture into two parts. One, he was talking material culture, and one is non-material culture. mentioning about, like in the material and non-material culture, mentioning about their, like in the material culture we are talking about the technology, we are talking about the machines, this is something which is changing rapidly, whereas in the non-material culture we are talking about the values, the norms, and they are not changing rapidly. They will take time because they involve the emotions and emotional intelligence. So we are going to write down the examples here. Okay, so that's how you would be writing about the material culture and all. After that, you will mention about how this material culture, they are changing so much. I mean, they are changing so rapidly. I mean, why we are facing this cultural lag. So then we are going to talk about how practically this cultural lag is happening. I mean, practically how it is responsible and how this thing is being done. So this is what you will be mentioning out. Fine. So once the body is done, then we are going to talk about his, like in the first page this is done. On the second page we will continue the body part itself, and in the second page on the body part itself we are going to write down Ogburn book Social Change, where he mentioned about cultural lag. I mean, in this part he was talking about cultural lag. Now we mentioned that this is the book. So one more thing, very much important, there should be a link, there should be a continuation in your intro, body, conclusion. I'm not going to repeat the things, but because I mentioned the book and because I'm saying that through this book he proposed the cultural lag, then I'm supposed to write the same where he mentioned the cultural lag and how the cultural lag is basically happening. So I will be mentioning about his book Social Change, and in his book Social Change he basically given a process. Like for example, first there would be invention, and after the invention there is discovery, then there is diffusion, then there is a technological change. So I will be mentioning those points line by line. Like in the side this is, and here I will write about it. That's how I will fill up 1.75% of the page, and then I am left with the conclusion. So what I am going to mention in the conclusion, I will be providing some sort of thing, like just mentioning about that in terms of the Ogburn concept of cultural lag, it is highly relevant in today's time period as we are facing the intense and the very fast changing of the AI technological advancement. So he was very much clear about the cultural lag that may be faced in the future. So this is what we would be mentioning in the conclusion. Okay, so that's how we are about to write answer. Okay, now all those students, they know I used to say one thing. This was basically the aam zindagi, and now we are going to have one mentors wali zindagi, and that mentors wali zindagi will include the enrichment. This will give you marks around this type of answers better than the basic conventional answer. They would help you to get 260 average. Again you would say, ma'am, we mentioned so much, we write so balanced intro, we write so balanced conclusion, body is also including the diagrams. Yes, but still you will get 260 average marks. Now the mentors wali zindagi means enriched things. So this enriched things is in terms of the examples. So when you are mentioning the content, when you are giving some information from your side, you are supposed to mention and relate it. And what I'm talking about current affair integration, it means you are adding upon the current things. Now just now point whatever I'm saying. First thing, he basically, when he was talking about it, he mentioned that cultural lag, it is coming. I mean, why we are having this cultural gap, or why this is all happening. See, what he basically mentioned is that in today's time period, like we can give the example of digital payment revolution. So digital payment revolution in India is one of the biggest example for the same. Like for example, UPI, the fintech, the digital banking, that is basically providing us some sort of material culture. Here we are going to mention these examples. Like with this point example, I am mentioning what would include under material culture. With the current affair integration based examples, I am saying you to provide it practically. So we need to mention fintech, UPI, digital banking. They are the part of what material culture. But there is rural urban digital divide. There is increasing online financial crimes like cyber fraud, like they are cyber bullying, these type of things. This is what culture lag is playing role, and this is how you will create a difference in your answer, because these things, they like these are part of static only, and more or less maybe some are not having the book name or something, but again I am saying you, if you have to mark 300 plus, आपकी तैयारी भी वैसी ही होनी चाहिए. So here you would be mentioning the practical example. We are going to mention example of some assisted reproductive technology. That is also again a material culture, na? Have you thought of that there would be a time period when we are creating the human being? I mean, for example, to create a human being, again we require another human being. Like for example, mother who used to nurture the same for the gestation period of 9 months. Have you imagined that we are going to have artificial womb? And that artificial womb, or we are going to have some like womb pouch that is basically filled with the amniotic fluids and is helping the child to nurture. Like this type of thing, that is basically creating. Now, in terms of cultural lag, there is artificial baby being created. Like there was one person in the China who claimed that he basically created 2 babies. That's what you must have watched the Jurassic Park wala movies na, 3 series or something कुछ है, बहुत पुरानी है, in which they were doing something with the, like they found the DNA of dinosaur in one mosquito, and they basically later on revived, and with the help of those DNA or with the help of those artificial womb or something like that, they created a dinosaur. I mean वो movie में fantasy based, but in the future there would be these type of things. I am not like you can think of, but assisted reproductive technologies, part of material culture. Earlier surrogacy and these type of thing being done in the USA and other countries. Now these are continuously being done in the India also. So that's what you can clearly understand. Yes, we are controlling with the help of some laws. We are having the surrogacy act also, but cultural lag is here. And culture lag is in terms of you can understand like cultural lag is in terms of the kinship issues, like it is in terms of the ethical question. I mean, now we are creating babies, we are creating human being. Not only this thing, we need to add on here material culture. I know it seems to be very a very unconventional example, but let me tell you, if you are aware of current affair now, you just need to act smartly. I hope you are aware of the cryogenic technique. See, cryogenic means what? Cryogenic means we are keeping something to 180 degree, 256 degrees Celsius, that is in the minus. Minus way means extreme cold temperature. Cold temperature used to increase the shelf life. Now let me tell you, in the China, in the Japan. See, I am not telling based upon any वो WhatsApp वाला theory और WhatsApp और Insta वाला reel, मैं वहाँ से नहीं बता रही हूँ. Official sources say, I am telling you with the help of some research paper that is available. They are thinking to preserve the human body, because see, why one person is dying? Because their cell, this, like we are made up of cell na, so their cell are dying and they are dying. They are basically keeping their bodies, their cell in the cryogenic temperature, so that in future they will revive those cells and they will rejuvenate life into that body. Can you imagine? मतलब in the earlier time period में अगर आपने सुना होगा कि anyone is basically amar ho jate hain, ya they are giving them some sort of amrit pan or something, so that they will revive, they will again rejuvenate the life. Same scientists are trying to do. So that's what you can understand. These are the type of examples you need to provide. Okay, now you will think, ma'am, this is too much. I mean, how we will remember? It's all about the practice. Why I told you this? Because when I will give you this, you need to integrate the same here and you need to use it here. And that's how we will be working on the 5 pillars. So that's how we will be creating a very strong bridge through the 5 pillars. I hope you are able to understand. That's how you will be able to get more marks. Not only this, we are also going to, like in terms of a process, we are going to mention some examples like climate change. See, I'm not going to tell you completely different examples. You are aware of them. It's just that it includes some information. I mean, maybe you are not aware of the information. It's only that. Okay. So now, for example, here in the process, we are mentioning about the climate change. So climate change is talking about the fossil fuel technology, the industrialization. So here material culture is talking about industrial technology. Fine. And we can use ecological anthropology here. So the cultural lag would be that in some countries we are doing it better, in some countries we are not doing it in the same way. Fine. So this is what you are going to mention, and that's how you will enrich your answers. I hope you are able to understand. Okay. So that what should include in the body. So now in the introduction we know this is the basic theme. Now in the body. Information, diagram, examples. So your body should be based upon the principle of IDE, where you are giving the information, you are mentioning the diagram, and you are enriching the same with the examples. So for each and every topic, we are going to have the same IDE approach. For each and every unit, we are going to include the IDE approach, where we are going to mention about it, and in some questions we are going to have the same, in some question we are not going to have the same, where we are going to have second approach, IDCE, where we are mentioning about the information, adding the diagrams, mentioning the case studies and the examples. I mean, some questions they require you to mention case studies. Case studies is a type of example only, but some questions like in the cultural lagna, there is no such point of writing the case studies. More we can mention the example. So that's how we need to read the question, analyze which type of intro we will work, and then focusing upon which approach will better for body, IDE, IDCE. And for each and every question you need to do the same. So this approach should be part of it. And the conclusion. For conclusion, I will say only one thing. And keep this thing in your mind. Do not repeat, do not write those words. Then we can say that, that's how, that's why, therefore. Do not mention these sentences or these words in your conclusion. Just focus upon one thing. Try to ask the answer for that question, and then whatever answer is coming in your mind, write it down. What? Significance. Importance is different, significance is different. So in this part, okay, so Samiksha, very valid question, ma'am, but we don't know which thinker or theorist it will ask. Then how we are going to attempt that question where we know the concept but nothing about the person or his book? See, I am going to provide you all anthropologists at one place. There I will be giving you book name also and so many anthropologists, and I am providing a short form also, like for example, for culture, this person said this thing about culture, this person said this. So that's how you can manage, at least you can manage. Now those students who are not having the same, how they will manage. For example, for let us suppose I don't know anything about William Ogburn. Let us suppose I don't know about his book. I don't know he was an American or someone. I don't know anything about it. So what should I do? I can simply start William Ogburn and I can simply mention his contribution for cultural lag. This is what I can do. I can manage. Then I can manage. I hope you are, see, because in this question this name is being mentioned, I have to mention it. I have to include it in the introduction. I have to include it. But I can write it simply. Okay. See, I won't say you play smart, कुछ भी लिख दो, examiner को याद नहीं रहता है. See, let me tell you, examiner, they used to get some sort of guidelines, some sort of key points. Why like all the teachers, they used to say mention key point, because for one type of question some key points are determined, and examiner, they are being provided guidelines related to the key point, and they used to find out those key point in your answer copies. So if you are writing very generic answer lacking the key points, you are not supposed to get better marks. I mean, this is inevitable. This is what you need to understand. Okay. Now, for the conclusion, significance. Now, for example, what is the significance? See, again I told you importance is difference. Importance means, for example, why food is important for me. Food is important for me to get energy, because if I won't eat food, it won't provide me energy. But what is significance? Significance means what? Why this food is important for different parts of my body. Now, for example, if I am eating good type of food, it will provide me good health. If I'm eating protein based food, it would provide me muscle strength. If I am eating vitamin C based product, it will provide me, it will help reduce the aging and it will help in the glow. If I am eating something which includes carbs or which includes fat, I am going to be affected from obesity. So, are you able to understand the difference? Why food is important for me? Because food नहीं खाऊंगी, जिंदा नहीं रहूंगी. थोड़े टाइम के लिए रह सकती हूँ, but उससे ज़्यादा नहीं. But why it is significant for me? Because different thing will work differently for me. So, why cultural lag is significant? Cultural lag is significant so that we can understand how culture is smooth or not smooth for one community, how material culture is being accepted, how material culture is not accepted. This is what you really need to do. And this is the kind of difference you need to understand. And for each and every question, try to focus upon significance. Like for example, there was one question asked by the UPSC, is culture unique to human? You just need to write down the significance of culture for the human being. In the introduction, just significance. Keep this, ask this question to yourself, significance. And then if coming 2 to 3 points in your mind, just frame the sentence out of these. So, the basic rule, and this is what, see, prepare this page A4 size paper and paste this on your study table, and whenever you would be writing the anthro answer, even other answers also for your ethics के लिए, or for your Indian society, or for your GS paper 3 economy and science, in all these parts this approach will work better. So 1, 2, 3, 4, see the question and analyze which one you are going to take. Then in the body part, just frame, create the blueprint. This is the information, this is the diagram I will mention, this is the example I know. And if you see, sometimes now why I am telling you this approach, see, so many of the students ना, they used to tell me कि मैम लिखते टाइम ना लिखने के बाद याद आया. So if you are writing ना ऐसे ही blindly, you are just start writing answer, so it won't help you. Why? Because again I am saying so many things are here in your mind, not able to replicate. So what's the point of that? So therefore, before writing, just mention these things in your mind, that information, then like first you will mention the information, second you will mention about the diagrams and example. So for the very first hand determine this and then start writing, and the conclusion at last mention the significance. So this is what you need to do. Okay, fine. And you able to understand everything? Having any doubt? Let me know your doubt. And having any doubt? Okay. So we are done with the relation wala question, relation wala type. Now let us suppose the question is versus wala type. तो versus में कैसे करते हैं? So in the versus wala type, in the introduction again, you will understand like which one is going to be better. Usually in the versus wala part, first or second are better. I'm not saying do not use third, you can use the third also, but here I'm saying which one is more better. You can also use fourth one also. Examples you can start with the common example of the same, but first and second, this first and this second, they are much better to start. Okay, then in the body part, in these types of question where open-ended question are versus, this between this. So in these type of question, first we need to mention about the relation of both terms, where we are writing similarities and differences. We are writing basically similarities and differences. And then conclusion. It would be better in the conclusion you are not writing significance, but you are writing dependency of each other. This is what you are basically doing, and I hope you can understand. Like in terms of enriched content, I am saying that you need to write down the enriched part in each and every portion, and this is how you are supposed to write. Hope you are able to understand. Okay, so that is how we are going to evaluate the test, and then we are going to focus upon the strong and the weak point, and I hope you are able to understand. Okay, now prepare this. Now next part that we need to understand is understanding the weightage of the syllabus. I mean, understanding what are the scoring parts. Understand, like blindly, if you are trying to hit the target, so it's going to be difficult for you. But if you know where the light is and how to chase the light and how to hit the target, it would be much easier for you. Okay, so here we are going to have a syllabus weightage. In the syllabus weightage, first we are going to have the socio-culture part, that is basically 33% of the total syllabus. In terms of the content I am talking here. Here I am not talking about in terms of UPSC weightage. I will show you the question, you will determine yourself. This is what I am giving you in terms of a homework. Physical anthropology 24%, archaeological 5%, part of paper 1 and paper 2 both. Seems to be 5% only, but you will see yourself in both the paper how many questions are coming. Now Indian anthropology 19% and tribal India 19%. So in 5 parts, the socio-culture parts, it basically constitute the largest syllabus. I mean 1/3 we can say. Now let's see if you are giving undue importance to the socio-culture anthropology, you would be on the higher side or not. Okay, now let's see. Here I am demonstrating you the 2025 paper where I divided the questions part wise. Like in the paper 1, I divided it into 3 parts: socio-culture, archaeological and physical. And in the paper 2, I divided it again into 3 parts: Indian, tribal and archaeological. See here, socio-culture, it's a 2025 Anthro paper 1. Here I basically mentioned the questions. I also basically mentioned the difficulty level also. Now, if you know about this term, it would be easier question for you. Now, kindly do not think I am undermining anyone who basically attempted the paper, but try to understand here why I am saying the difficulty level. Here, difficulty level is in terms of when you know how to attempt this question in terms of a blueprint. Means something you can understand in terms of you can understand in terms of mentioning the demand. Okay, see, theoretical significance of Purum kinship system. Suppose you know about the Purum kinship system. You know na basic approach. Like in the introduction you will mention Purum kinship system. In the body part you will explain this kinship system, how it used to work, how it is significant, and in the conclusion you will again mention about their significance. It's simple na, that's why I'm mentioning here easy. For these difficult question, it's difficult to relate with the demand and then structure the answer. Fine, I hope you can understand. Now, this is basically related to the unit 2.5. Again, culture and embodiment. Hanji, this first E question. Again, this is and wala question na, and wala question. Just tell me, is it versus wala question or is it is it versus wala question or it is and wala, belongs to wala question? I mean related. Hanji, tell me, is it versus wala question or belongs to wala question? So what should be your approach for the same? It's basically belongs to wala question, and in the belongs to wala question, you know, you are not supposed to write the differences, but you are supposed to write the relationship between them. So how the culture and embodiment. And this question where you have to mention examples, means this question would work better with the IDE approach, not IDCE approach. Okay, so that's how you need to understand. Fine. So now we are going to practice in this way only. Means you are having the question, you are just trying to understand what should be the approach. Okay, now next, compare and contrast the symbolic approaches of the Clifford Gerst and the Victor Turner to understand the culture. Now, what do you need to write in this question? Hanji, just tell me intro. Just tell me in the intro 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one? Hanji, in the introduction, the 2B. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one would be better? Hanji, tell me fast. We basically did 4 type of introduction. Which is going to be better for this? 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically for this question, the third approach would be better. Why? Because in this part, they are mentioning the anthropologist's name and I am supposed to mention them in the introduction itself. And I should know their book name. I hope now you are understanding. Your notes should be in this format. Like if I am having any anthropologist person, any anthropologist, so I should have their books also. So if your notes were not like that, you need to upgrade them. You need to mention their book name. You should know. Why? Because these types of questions, they are very favorite to the UPSC. Because it's a compare and contrast type of question. So I'm supposed to write down in a tabular format where I'm mentioning one point for the point of differences and between two parts. This is what I'm supposed to do. Now, how the political economy is integrated with the ecological and adaptability perspective in the biocultural anthropology. Hanji, for this question, just tell me fast. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one is going to be better for introduction? Hanji, for 2C, for this part, the third approach won't be working in a better way. See, I'm going to mention the anthropologists, I'm going to refer them, but that's going to be part of body. That's not going to be part of introduction. And here in the introduction, it would be better for me to apply. And I can apply the information not by telling the meaning, not by telling the origin, but by having the fourth approach, that is, Anji, current example. Or I'm going to have the current affair integration here. Just, Anji, am I audible properly? So basically, this is what we are going to mention in the current affair integration, the fourth part. Okay. So that would be better for us to start for the fourth part. See, that's how. Now let us suppose you are not having the examples, current affair integration or something like that. What you are going to do? Ecological. Take something from the climate change. Take something from the climate change, because climate change is now a political issue. That's what you need to be aware. And I am not having any doubt. If you are giving mains, for sure you are going to have awareness about these examples. I mean, just need to take these examples from the GS का paper. वहीं से उधार ले लो and then just mention it. Okay, fine. Now, how anthropologists assess the nutritional status of a community, discuss the significance of intersectionality of ecology, culture, social inequality. Very difficult question, I would admit. Reason, because lengthy question है बहुत ज़्यादा. I mean, what I need to do, I need to relate the nutritional anthropology, and then I need to mention the intersectionality, and then I need to mention the relation of nutritional anthropology with ecology, with culture, with social inequality, and then I have to explain. Again, critically examine the drawback in assuming the culture as an integrated closed system. Unit 2.1, Unit 6 in the socio-culture anthropology. They are the scoring one. So you have to do the same. Why scoring? Because so many of the questions are coming from here, and even if you are very much aware of the Unit 6 and you are very much quick about all the concept, it would help you further mentioning the details here in the name or something. So what you can understand, see, you need to give importance to the units. Unit 2.1 very important. Unit 6 very important. If you want to avoid, you can avoid Unit 3 and 4. That is economic anthropology and the political anthropology. Fine. So this is what you can do. Okay. Fine. Now, describe briefly the theoretical perspective in linguistic anthropology to explain the relationship of, again, culture, language, thought. It's a moderate level question, because you are aware of the linguistic anthropology and you need to explain it in terms of culture, language and thought. See, language is also in the thought, and for that I'm going to provide you the case studies also, where we are going to understand that if you are having aggressive language, your thoughtness is also going to be the same. And if you are having very polite language, if you are using some polite words, your thought process will also be the same. I hope you can understand, and that's how we are going to include. But this is something that you need to understand. The socio-culture questions, you can understand like, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 questions. 11 questions out of 28 questions from the socio-culture anthropology. Physical anthropology. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 questions from the socio-culture anthropology, 11 questions from here. And around 4 questions, they are basically from the archaeological anthropology. Fine. And there was some question also that are not coming under any part. Okay. So this is something which was a bouncer question, because so many, like if you read the Sunya IAS Anthro paper 2 book, so in the book we basically included the osteodonto culture and its maker, and that is basically part of our syllabus. So if you are aware of this term from here and there, you can manage this question fine. So that's what you can understand. Again, I basically provided the list for the 2025 Anthro paper 2, where you can understand Indian anthropology. More and more questions are coming from Indian anthropology. So for the paper 2, focus more on Indian anthropology. This is what I would say. For the paper 1, focus more on physical anthropology, because physical anthropology questions, they are scoring as well and they are manageable as well. In the social culture now, see, you need to do the same also, but if you will ask me to give more importance, like in terms of cost reward ratio, so the cost reward ratio for physical anthropology is much better than the socio culture anthropology. Okay, so here you can see the tribal India, the archaeological anthropology. Similar in the paper 2, 5 questions, or in the paper 1, 4 questions. So there is a similar thing you can find out. In the year 2024, again there are around like 12 questions. So the range used to be the same for social culture anthropology. 11 question in the 2025 and 12 questions in the 2024. So the weightage is similar. 28 questions total they are asking, and here there are 12 questions from the social culture anthropology. Majority of the question they are from the physical anthropology again. So physical anthropology questions, they are more or less static oriented, and in the static oriented question you need to mention some current affair, but social culture anthropology questions you need to understand demand also. First you will understand the demand and then you will explain further. Okay. Okay, now the next part is archaeological anthropology. There also you will do the same. This is the paper 2. Again here more importance should be given to the Indian anthropology and tribal India, but more important should be towards the Indian anthropology, that is scoring also, and there is much scope also that you can mention the things there. Fine. So that's how you need to understand, like what kind of thing we need to understand from the PYQs. From the PYQs, we need to understand what are the high return areas. In terms of your cost to reward ratio, what are the high return areas? So in terms of cost reward ratio. Second thing that you need to understand is that what are the themes, what are the things that they are asking on a repetitive basis, means what are the frequently repeated topics or themes. So second thing, frequently repeated themes. Third thing that you can understand is that there are some topics that we should not skip. I mean, if you are thinking that I can skip the archaeological anthropology because it is only 5%, so let me tell you, in the paper 1 as well as in the paper 2, they are asking around 5 to 6 questions. So out of 28 questions, 5 to 6 questions, they matters a lot, where let us suppose if they are part of any set you are about to choose, so you cannot skip them. Fine. So it would help us to know which part should not be skipped. Fine. So this is what you can understand. This is the take that you can uh, understand from this part. Fine. And this is what you have understood also, what kind of enrichment we are going to do, how we are going to understand the same. Fine. So in terms of the basic thing, like if let us suppose you are preparing for the mains, or you are like giving about to give mains, or you are preparing for the mains just to have your UPSC preparation to the next level, you need to understand optional subject is very important. And having the optional subject like anthropology, where the syllabus is very short, so you are having more and more opportunities, scope also to do much better and to ensure your rank. So that's what you need to understand. A little bit of extra hard work or a little bit of extra directed smart work could help you easily to jump. Like, let me tell you, last year there was one our topper Deepak Korkuji, the rank 563. So he basically earlier was struggling in between the 200 12, 213 or something, and he was not having much time also to do the improvement. So like, because he was about to write mains, so these type of enriched classes, enriched content and the Saksham test series helped him to jump his rank by 45 marks, 40 to 45 marks. So that's what you can understand, a dedicated thing. And now you are starting from now itself, so it will surely help you. So what you need to do, you need to be dedicated and you need to be targeted, and you should not supposed to skip anything in between. So anthropology, for sure, it rewards disciplined answer writing. And it basically, what I would say, like I used to say, you should not be a content creator or a content depositor. You should be someone who's disciplined with the answer writing, who used to be someone who know this is my weak point, this is where I need to improve, and then improving. Fine. So that's what we are basically having our anthropology enrichment cum test series program. And I had explained you on the 3rd of June we are going to have the next session, and in the 3rd of June session, that's going to be for socio-culture anthropology. That's basically the first session, sectional session, where I will be providing complete revision writing session also, and I will be sharing the PDF. The PDF you will get before the lecture, like on 3rd June itself. Timing would be the same, 12:30 p.m. So you will get it, and accordingly you will need to prepare for the same. Fine. So if you have any sort of doubt, so there is Google form available in the description box. Just fill it, and I am one call away. If you want to, like as I have told you that you need to prepare one topic and write the answer to understand your way of writing the answer, do that also. And just after writing it, just fill the form. Team will connect and they will ask for your answer, and I am going to provide you the feedback. Okay. So having any doubt, you can connect. Okay. So thank you so much. Yeah. So timing would be 12:30. Next session, as I have told you, is going to be on the 3rd June. I think this color is not working. Yeah, here I can write down 3rd June. Timing would be 12:30 p.m. That is going to be live. This is available in the offline as well as online live mode. So let us know which mode is workful for you. Okay. So on the 3rd June, let's meet 12:30 p.m. Okay. So thank you so much.